Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, I need everybody that comes on. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Look, you guys already know you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on on Twitter. Listen, we got a big week, man. This is Notre Dame week. This is one of the biggest rivalries of USC. Of course, other than UCLA, it is going to be Notre Dame, man. And we're talking about a Notre Dame team that came into the season very high expectations for them. A team that they got some big boys in the trenches, man. But look, I think USC can really do exactly what they did last year. You guys remember the same running back they have right now. I believe we held them to like 95 yards last year. I think USC had success, and I think we can have success again now. You look at their offense from a running perspective. That is their strength. It continues to be their strength. Big 6'2". I think he's 230 pound estimate. Running back. That guy is he's a load, man. But I think USC, they averaging now, I think, is 171 yards. And, Lincoln Riley, he talked to him. He was on the show with Sean Cody, and it's Trojan Live. He was on that show. He kind of talked about Notre Dame and their experience, and he kind of made reference to a couple of things as it relates to what took place in the game last week against Arizona. Some of the mistakes, some of the things that USC can correct, what he believes that can happen, what can take place. But when you look at this Notre Dame team, the quarterback came from Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, was expected to be a big time transfer, and he came in. He definitely came in from Wake Forest slinging the ball, man. He looked like he was going to be something serious, man, and he still is serious. The guy has an absolute arm. Um, However, he threw three interceptions last week, and I'm not sure, man. We'll take a look at it. Me and Jaywalk, we will come this week. We will do the actual preview. I'm just kind of opening up, just talking about Notre Dame because this is Notre Dame week. We can kind of, whenever we do UCLA, whenever we do Notre Dame, we can just say, look, it's Notre Dame week. I might be touching on a little bit of it every day. We will come on Wednesday to do an actual live show. I believe that show is going to be at 3 o'clock p.m. West Coast time, 6 p.m. East Coast time. It will be on Wednesday. I will put a post up on my Instagram. I will put one up on my Twitter. That way we'll have that information for you guys. You make sure you guys tap in with us on that live. Doing an actual preview. Those who don't know, if you're a Notre Dame fan, whoever comes in, Jaywalk, he played at Notre Dame in 2000 and I believe it was 5. And so look, he was part of the Bush Push game. So Jaywalk is a regular, so he will be tapping in with me. Talk about some of that Notre Dame stuff, man. But I want to talk about real quick. I got a couple of things on the plate as well. USC had a couple of guys get some recognition. One is USC leads the country right now with 40. Let's see, it's their first in tackles for loss, and with a total of 41. Look, man, as much as a lot of people talk about this defense, and I got some stuff I want to show you guys real quick, and we're gonna get into some information because I just had to put a little situation on investigation. We're gonna take a look at it as it relates to numbers, defense wise. But USC ranks first overall in the country with tackles for loss, and also we want to give Jamil Muhammad his props. Jamil Muhammad, he's sixth in the country. Just announced yesterday, sixth in the country with sacks. Man, you guys already know he was a guy that was underrated by a lot of outlets. A lot of outlets were kind of they were lost in the sauce as it relates to the information as it relates to Jamil Muhammad. But Jamil Muhammad absolutely showed up and showed out. And as a result, he's now ranked sixth in the country. Now, a lot of people last year thought that it was going to be a drop off when you're talking about the sacks when it comes to Thule. Thule was basically we had other guys there, but Thule was basically like a one man guy. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had 12 sacks. I mean, that's incredible. That's tremendous when you're talking about one guy doing that. But it really seems like this team, as far as the defensive line is concerned, it's really balanced. Balanced in the fact that you got Jamil Muhammad making sacks. I even seen Braylon Shelby make a sack last week. You got Solomon Byrd making sacks. So from a defensive line perspective, our edge guys, these guys are really consistent, man. And I can say that I'm definitely proud of those guys, man. Of course, we want to get our secondary up to par because they just hadn't been there. If we want to be honest about it, but from a defensive line standpoint, I think these guys are going to be locked and loaded. And I do think this. I think Keon Barnes needs to be next to Bear Alexander. I mean, there's no ifs or nuts because, when you talk about Notre Dame, we're talking about a line that's going to be absolutely. They got some big boys on that line, man. And they're not as, I would say, seasoned as they usually are. I mean, Notre Dame is known for some huge, tremendous guys, but they've been getting some pressure on that quarterback, and I think that's going to be one of the keys. And I'm not going to get into the full preview. That's going to be a key, but I want to talk about real quick, and I got some information to show you before I talk about this. I want to talk about real quick some of the comments that Lincoln Riley made as it relates to last weekend's game versus Arizona. And you guys already know I brought you a couple of videos and talked about the play call and how things were kind of suspect. But Lincoln Riley, he took full ownership of it, and this is some of the things that he says. He says, looking back, this is with him with Sean Cody on the Trojan Live. He says, looking back at it, he said it's hard to say we were ready to play at a high level. He says really slow start offensively, pretty pathetic, quite honestly. Those were some of the comments that he made, and I think they're really going to be addressing some things in practice this week, and I think we should see a lock and loaded USC team. And look, man, I think it's going to be straight up go time, man. It's going to be on and popping, on and cracking. Now, another thing was that they did announce, and real quick before I get into this other information, they did announce that Utah game, I think, is going to be starting at 5 o'clock p.m. And then the Washington game. They talked about the Washington game being sold out. Game is sold out. So look, man, there's some people that was already hitting me up. My boy, he used to play cornerback and punt returner for Washington, and he hit me up, said, Jay, you going to the game? I got a couple of buddies that played at Washington, and they want to connect, but man, this thing is sold out, so we're gonna see about getting some tickets, man. That's unbelievable. Now that it's crazy because it's sold out before the Utah game. So the Utah game is coming up, I believe, next week. So or the 30th. I got my days mixed up. I'll take a look at that. But anyway, USC Washington game sold out. But I want to go take a look. I wanted to get into some numbers real quick as it relates to some yardage from a defensive perspective. I just want to see what you guys think about this. And by the way, we talked about Notre Dame briefly, but Notre Dame is favored by 2 points. Believe it or not, that's what it is right now. And I think that USC has an opportunity to make a statement in this game. But let's take a look real quick at some information as it relates to some defensive stuff. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is that the undefeated teams right here, these are the 14 that's left. And you see them there. It's going to be North Carolina, Ohio State, Air Force, James Madison, Washington, Florida State, Oklahoma, Penn State, Oregon, Georgia. And then you see Louisville, Michigan, Liberty, and then USC, man. So look, USC fans, look, we still one of those teams, man, and we can continue that this weekend by going 7-0. USC could become one of those teams, man. So look, that's some good company to be in, to be a part of, being a undefeated team, man. A lot of people can't say that. Only 14 teams, man. So I wanted to show you that information, but let's take a look at some of this yardage information real quick. All right, here is a couple of things that I wanted to get into just real quick because I'm hearing a lot of people, they make reference to USC. I'm hearing the national media, and look, by no means I want you guys to get this, understand this, and understand this fully. I'm not making any excuses for USC. That's the number one thing. Number one thing is that I get it. I totally get it. Too many explosive plays. There's some issues that's going on with USC defense as it relates to the secondary. I still maintain that USC's defense from the edge and the interior guys, I still think those guys are really producing, being productive, but we need some help in the secondary. Let me state that first because I don't want to hear any loss in the sauce, crazy comments talking about who we played. because at the end of the day, yardage is yardage. Now, I want to get into this Oklahoma game versus Texas. I don't care if Texas was number 3. If they say they were number 3, they went down there and beat Alabama, whatever. Um, Oklahoma still had, in my opinion, a lot of yards. You got 527 yards put on them against Texas. And you look at it here, it was 3 turnovers for Texas, 25 first downs, 28. But here's the thing. They say if we had that many yards put on us, you look at Texas had the ball for 32 minutes and 11 seconds. Oklahoma had it for 24, 27, 49. But here's the thing. Even if it is the number 3 whatever team in the country, it's still a lot of yards, in my opinion. And I want to know from you guys, do you think, because they call us out, whether it's ESPN, whether any type of media, they call it out. USC had, and I know you guys heard this on ESPN, USC had over 500 yards worth of offense put on them. Any team that allows that many yards, this is not the national championship game. This is the Red River Shootout, but this is a regular season game and the conference game, and it was over 527 yards put on them. Now, is there equal blame as it relates to their defense? No, the whole thing is as I stated before, and I'm not, and I went back and watched the film, man, but I'm not gonna go over that over again from Arizona game, because I did watch a lot of film, and I'm telling you right now, there is a lot of missed tackles from a lot of guys, and we could attribute that to coaching. But at the end of the day, the players got to make the plays. Bottom line, the players got to make the plays. If they're put in that position, they got to make the plays. But you're talking about 500-some yards. I want to know from you guys, is that too many yards from this particular game? Are you giving them a pass is what I really want to know, because they're the number 3 team, Texas, playing number 12, Oklahoma. You don't hear anybody make reference to that, but they always make reference. And it was the same thing with Alabama versus Tennessee last year. I think they put up, it was 48 to 50 some the score. And those two teams were going at it. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it was going crazy. And all we heard was, man, that was an incredible, fantastic game. But when it comes to us, it seems like the narrative is pushed a little bit different, and you really don't see that. It's more so USC has a bad defense, and yes, we gave up some stuff in Tulane game. Yes, we gave up stuff at time, but I'm just trying to show you guys that look, this thing really, from an offensive standpoint, I think I brought this stat to you a while back, the Utah game, that analytics is pushing toward offensive teams now. That's not giving USC a pass. But it's just saying, look, there's some teams across the country right now that's putting up a lot of points right now. Notre Dame happens to not be just one of them putting up a lot of points like that. But Texas and Oklahoma, I kind of been monitoring both of these teams. They are both putting up a lot of points right now. And that's teams everywhere, man. Every team that has a good. When you look at Steve Sarkisian that came from USC, this guy Lane Kiffin, all these guys are putting up a lot of offensive output right now. So these were numbers that when Alex Grinch was at Oklahoma, 527 yards. Those are Oklahoma-like numbers. Look, you got Oklahoma fans. You guys tap in with me. Let me know what you guys think. Is that kind of similar numbers to what you had when Alex Grinch was there? That's the question I want to know. Is that the same number that you had when Alex Grinch was there? 527 yards. Scores pretty much almost up there as well. You guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me, is USCJ, is it okay because you guys got to win? Or are those the same numbers? What's the difference between Alex Grinch and these numbers right here? Because this is your first real game as well. Because a lot of teams that you guys been playing, I think it was Tulsa and a couple other teams, Arkansas State, those teams weren't all that as well. So I just want to know from you guys, man. You guys can hit me in the comment section. You guys can tell me what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. Once again, it's Notre Dame week. It's going to be on and popping. It's going to be on and cracking. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.